All right, let's take a look at this problem from 8.2. So I'm going to write out a few terms just so that we can kind of see what's going on here. Okay. Notice that our lower limit is 12. So that's going to be the very first number that we substitute in. Then a 13, 14. And it's like, okay, well, when do we stop this process? Well, we're going to stop when we get to 57, the upper limit. So 2 minus 4 times 57 all over 5. Okay. Now, if we do the math here, to all the bottoms are 5s, so I'm just not going to mess with the denominators, but let me compute those numerators, okay? This one I can kind of do in my head, but let me try to do the other ones. Let's see here, 2 minus 4 times 13, negative 50. And then 2 minus 4 times 14, negative 54. And then the last one is 2 minus 4 times 57, 50, negative. Okay. All right, so what we want to find out is what's the common difference? You know, what am I adding or subtracting each time, right? Okay, what am I adding? If I express it, I could be adding a negative thing. Well, one thing that I want you to notice is that the top is getting smaller by 4. I'm taking away 4 every time, okay? So I know that this is actually going to be from one term to the other, subtracting 4 and then fifths. Okay, think about it. If I take negative 46 fifths and I take away 4 fifths from it, I get negative 50 fifths, which is exactly what the second term is. If I took another 4 fifths away from that, I'd have negative 54 fifths, which is the third term. Now, there's an easier way to spot this, okay? If you look at what is in front of the variable, it might be easier to split it up, you guys. Remember when we write it like this, the 2 is over 5, but also the 4K is over 5. So you, right here, there's your negative 4 fifths. There's your common difference, okay? That's what we're, adding each time. We're adding a negative 4 fifths. So you don't have to do this process again now that you know this trick of it's going to be whatever's in front of the variable, in front of the K in this case, okay? All right, so we got our D, we got our common difference. And we already found the first term and the last term. So we are good to go to use Gauss's formula. So to find the sum of the first n terms, remember that it's just going to be n over 2 times the first term. Now, I know they put a sub 1 in the formula, you guys, and the last term, a sub n. But what they mean by this is they just mean the first term. In this case, it does not mean when I plug 1 in. It means when I plug 12 in. 12 is going to be my first term. So that's what's kind of tricky is the notation's not very good, right? I almost wish they would just not use this and they'd write first plus last, right? Okay, so we're going to take, we still haven't found the n, huh? So if you want to find out how many terms, remember you take your upper limit of 57 and you subtract your lower limit of 12, but then you got to add 1 back. So it's 57 minus 12 plus 1. Okay, so 57 minus 12 is going to be 45. So I think this is going to be 46 terms. Okay. Why the add 1? Well, think about something obvious, like let's say I was going from 1 to 5. Well, we know that from 1 to 5 is 5 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if you subtract those, you get that there's only 4 terms there. So you have to make sure you add back the 1 so you genuinely have 5 terms. Okay. All right. So make sure you do that plus 1 bit. Okay, so we have 46 terms. That's going to be our n. So let's go ahead and substitute n to this formula. So if we want to find the sum of the first 46 terms, it's going to be 46 divided by 2. Remember, if this ends at 46, then this ends at 46. Right? And then the first term, well, this guy is our first term. It's not really a sub 1, it's kind of a sub 12-ish. And this one is the last term. So that's going to be this guy. All right, let's see what we got going on. So the notation's kind of poor for this, I think. Wait, 46 divided by 2 is 23. And if we add these together, I know the bottom is a 5. Let's see, what is 46 plus 226, you guys? 46 plus 226. Okay, so it's going to be negative 272. And then we just got to multiply this. Okay, so let's let our calculator do it, right? 23 times the fraction negative 272 over 5. Good thing I let the calculator do it. That's huge. 6256. Okay, so negative 6256 over 5 is going to be the sum of the first 46 terms of that sequence. Let's go put it in, make sure it's right. My confidence is not super high on this. Let's see. I already forgot it. What was it? 6256. Cross. Hey. Okay. So it's kind of weird because we're not finding the 46th. Well, I guess we are finding the 46th term, but I could see how somebody could get kind of weirded out by the fact that 12, plugging 12 in is your a sub 1, right? A sub 1. And plugging 57 in is my 46th term. Okay. So that's kind of weird, but think of it as the first term plus the last term. Don't even worry about these subscripts, right? Whatever I put in my first term and whatever I put for my last term. And we know how we get those. We get those by plugging in the lower limit and by plugging in the upper limit. So let's shortcut this if you had to do this. To find your n, you do 57 minus 12 and you add 1, right? So it's always going to be upper minus lower, and add 1. That'll get you your n. Then you're going to substitute in the bottom number in for k to get your first term. And you're going to substitute the 57, the upper limit in, to get your last term. And that's all you need for Gauss's formula, right? The n, the first term, and the last term. Okay. Hopefully this helps you out with this one. That one was kind of hard. All right, thanks for joining me, you guys. Good luck.